By 261 BC, the Mauryan Empire had swallowed up nearly the entire Indian subcontinent. It was the largest empire India had ever seen, stretching across the north, center, and west. At the helm was Emperor Ashoka. Before taking the throne, he was a hardened military commander. He secured his power by ruthlessly crushing regional rebellions, building a reputation as a leader who didn't hesitate to use violence to maintain control. But one glaring exception remained: Kalinga, in modern-day Odisha. Its independent people flatly refused Mauryan rule. You can see why Ashoka couldn't leave it alone. It was a wealthy maritime hub controlling trade routes stretching to Southeast Asia. To secure those routes, Ashoka unleashed a massive invasion force. He marched out hundreds of thousands of infantry, cavalry, and battalions of armored war elephants. For Ashoka, the human cost was irrelevant. He was operating on standard imperial logic. A ruler's success is measured by the wealth and territory he can extract from his neighbors. When the Mauryan army arrived, the resistance they met was ferocious. Kalinga's citizens took up arms to defend their independence, fighting directly alongside their soldiers. The combat raged for days. War elephants clashed in the dust, cavalry charged through the lines, and thousands of infantry fought brutal close-quarters battles. Eventually, the sheer arithmetic of the Mauryan war machine took over. The Kalingan defense collapsed under the overwhelming numbers. But when the dust settled, the thrill of triumph vanished. Ashoka rode out to inspect his newly conquered territory, only to find a landscape choked with corpses and ruined villages. This visualization shows the human toll recorded in historical texts. 100,000 Kalingans were slaughtered outright, and another 150,000 were taken captive. By winning the war, Ashoka had destroyed his actual prize. The thriving economy and vibrant society he wanted to absorb into his empire were physically wiped out. As he walked the battlefield, he watched surviving women and children weeping over their dead relatives and burning homes. That specific sight broke him. He realized that the conquest he had engineered to prove his greatness was actually a machine designed to generate suffering. The guilt of that realization changed his approach to leadership. The expansionist warlord disappeared on that battlefield, replaced by a man searching for a way to atone for what he had done. Ashoka's response was an immediate policy shift. He permanently renounced warfare, declaring that his empire would now be guided by Dharma, a code of moral, non-violent governance. He diverted the state's budget away from military campaigns and poured it directly into domestic welfare. He ordered the construction of hospitals, dug wells, built rest houses, and planted shade trees along the roads to care for his subjects. To ensure his administration followed these new rules, he carved his edicts into stone pillars and rock faces across the subcontinent. He even etched his own personal apologies for the Kalinga massacre directly into the rock for all to read. Ashoka shifted the Mauryan state's core objective to his subjects' welfare. Under his new leadership, the empire's strength was demonstrated through its social hospitals and ethical laws, instead of its territorial expansion. He eventually embraced Buddhism and launched a diplomatic campaign based on exporting peace. He even sent his own children, Mahindra and Sanghamitra, overseas as emissaries to share these principles. That outreach laid the groundwork for Buddhism to expand far beyond India's borders, shaping the religious and cultural landscape of Asia for 2 millennia. The 261 BC invasion of Kalinga remains a singular moment in history. The war provided the shock necessary to move Ashoka away from violent conquest and toward a life of nonviolence. Ultimately, the physical borders of the Mauryan Empire crumbled, but Ashoka is remembered because he was an absolute monarch who possessed the power to destroy his world, yet chose to heal it instead.